मनाभूते अहंकार चिज्ञानी नाहम् न च श्रोत्रजिह्वे न च घ्राणनेत्रे न च भूमिः भौमो न तेजो न वायुः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न च प्राणसङ्को न वै पञ्चवायु न वा सप्तधातु न वा पञ्चकोशा न वा पाणिपादौ न च वास्तवायु चिदानन्दरूपा शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपा शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपा शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं न मे द्वेषरागो न मे लोभो मोहो वादनैव मे नैव मात्सर्यभावः न धर्मो न च अर्थो न कामो न मोक्षो चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं न पुण्यं न पापं न सुखं न दुःखं न मन्त्रं न तीर्थं न वेद न यज्ञः अहं भोजनं नैव भोजं न भोक्ता चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं न मे तु न शङ्का न मे जातिभेदः पिता नैव मे नैव माता न जन्म न बन्धु न मित्रं गुरु नैव शिष्यः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् अहं निर्विकारो निराकाररूपम् विभूत्याच्च सर्वैन्द्रियाणाम् न च संकटं नैव मुक्तिनमेय चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं
এখন বেদমন্ত্র পাঠ করবো, সবাই পার্টিসিপেট করুন। ওম বাগ্মে মনসি প্রতিষ্ঠিতা मनः मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठिता।
वाग्मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मन मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठिता।
आभिः मेधि वेदस्यामानिष्टः श्रुतं मे मा बृहसिः
वेदस्यामानिष्टः श्रुतं मे मा बृहसिः।
हीतेन अहोरात्रां संददामि।
अनेनाधितेन अहोरात्रां संवदामि।
रीतां वदिष्यामि सत्यां वदिष्यामि।
रीतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि।
मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु।
माम् अवतु तद्वक्तारम् अवतु।
अवतु मामवतु वक्तारम्।
अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् अवतु वक्तारम्।
शान्ति शान्ति
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
ॐ आप्यायन्तु मम अङ्गानि प्राणचक्षुः।
ॐ आभयन्तु मम अङ्गानि प्राणचक्षुः।
श्रोत्रमथः बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि।
श्रोत्रमथः बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि।
सर्वं ब्रह्म उपनिषदाम्।
सर्वं ब्रह्म उपनिषदाम्।
माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्यात् मा ब्रह्म निराकारो।
मां ब्रह्म निराकुर्यात् मां ब्रह्म निराकारो।
निराकरणमस्तु निराकरणं मे अस्तु।
हानिरकरमस्तु हानिरकरं मे अस्तु
ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु
धर्मस्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु
शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति
ॐ
ॐ
शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
ॐ पूर्णमादः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते
ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णम् उदच्यते
पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते
पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेव अवशिष्यते
शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
ॐ सहनो आवतु सहनो भुनक्तु
ॐ शानवतु शानभुनक्तु
कर्वावहै
सवीर्यं कर्वावहै
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै
तेजस्विनो अदितमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
ॐ शान्तिमित्रः शङ्कुरुणा शं भवति हरिः
ॐ शाम्नमित्रः शावरुणः शाम्नभवति हरि ओम्
इन्द्रः बृहस्पतिः शान्विष्णुरुक्रमः
शाम्न इन्द्रः बृहस्पतिः शाम्नविष्णु उरुक्रमः
अहं ब्रह्मणे नमः देवायु
नमो
नमः ब्रह्मणे नमः देवाय
तमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मसि
त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म यसि
तमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि
तमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि
सत्यं वदिष्यामि
ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि
मामवतु तद्वकाणामवतु
अवतु तद्वकारमवतु
मामवतु वकाराम्
अवतु मामवतु वक्तारम्
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृण्वां देवा
ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः
भद्रं कुशेमाशवीययोत्रः
भद्रं पश्येम अक्षभिर्यजुत्रः
त्वय्यां Suvanshotanovihi
Siroyongui Tushubang Sharanuvi Vashe Madhavi Tamayat Ayu
Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti
আমরা আমাদের আলোচনায় প্রবেশ করছি। We are now getting into our discussion. আজকে আমাদের আলোচনার পর্ব ব্রহ্ম উপলব্ধি 989 পর্ব। আমাদের আজকে 981 পর্ব। আজ 2025 সালের জুন মাসের 1 তারিখ রবিবার। এটি ডিজিটাল মোডে 272তম 272nd ডিজিটাল সানডে মোড টক। আজকের আলোচনার প্রসঙ্গটি ইউনিভার্সাল টপিক, বিশ্ব দৃষ্টি, the universal vision of the cosmic vision. The title of discussion for today demands that we need to have some discussion in a language which is known to others in other part of the world, and for its relevance, and of course it will follow with the Bengali version of that or Bengali explanation of that. So the universal vision or the cosmic vision. Universal vision is a conceptual paradigm, is a framework of theory and basis lies in the theories. It is a conviction, matter of conviction. It's a matter of profiling the individual. It's making up a character of the individual. And for that matter, it is making up a character and profile of a group of people. If possible, if at all happens for a nation, and if at all happens for a civilization. The universal vision or the cosmic vision that we are now going to discuss has actually happened in life. It has got translated into life, phenomenon, positions into life, phenomenal emergence through living of life in a part of the world, the part where we are residing in India, in the ancient period. The ancient Vedic civilization has lived on this forever. And there are a lot of controversies about the timing of the Vedic civilization. But now, more or less, many people, even in the Western world, they have come to the understanding that Vedic civilization cannot be earlier than 15,000 years from now in the backward. If we accept that as the minimum agreeable point of culmination of the Vedic civilization, then the entire civilization could have lasted around 10,000 years, even further back. The resultant effect of the civilization was there in the life and living of people of this part of the world, and its impact was felt and now understood, having its impact in many parts of the world. Many parts of the world which have been considered from archaeological and anthropological point of view as distinctly different. Now, if you come to the philosophical understanding and the basics and fundamentals of the principles of living, one can come to a perceptive conclusion that the impact of India's Vedic civilization was there almost everywhere in the known part of the world. The civilization which was unearthed digged out from beneath the soil at Mohenjo-daro and Harappan, once this was done, then people started accepting the point that 5,000 years before there was a civilized condition and a civilization because the carbon tasting puts the date like that. Carbon testing of different artifacts, different symbols which were found there. Many other places in the Indian subcontinent and also in the adjacent places, some part of Eurasian region, some part of region which is now included in other continent, one end of European region. You'll find that a lot of impacts of Indian civilization has been there, so much so that the impacts are very penetrative and so much penetrating that it has shaped the life of millions altogether in the world. At that point of time, the world was not inhabited by billions. It was actually measured in terms of thousands and millions only. Now let's come to the later examples of having spread the India's philosophy to different parts of the world. After Lord Buddha's appearance, the teachings of Buddha was spread out and was popular. One impact of that was the Ashokan Empire and the Ashokan uh, Ashoka having accepted the Buddhism in his core of mind and having started the spread of the philosophical things. A lot of people from this part to the eastern region of the world and east northern region of the world, crossing Himalayan mountain to other side, the Chinese plateau, the entire Chinese plateau, the region that is known as the Asian region now, the entire Asian region, crossing the different seas in between. Now this it's got spread at the core of it, and there was a particular philosophical battle on the ground in the context of the new setting up of civilization in the ancient China and China in later period, some part of the eastern globe. But then finally it was established as and still getting corroborated and followed by a big number, a large number. And that was actually spread out from India. On the Western Hemisphere, the Total School was considered as a place where Indian sages used to go and stay for some period. At that point of time, since the traveling was not that easy as of now, people used to travel for months and then covering several years, they could come back to their own place if they at all wanted to. There are some sages like the sages who are from the central India and southern India, southern part, central southern or southern part of India. Many of them have traveled via the northern route. Some Himalayan sages, they have traveled via the northern route to Eurasian region, and among them says Kashyap was very prominent, and there are other clans of sages who are prominent. Two lady sages who are also they are very prominent in the Eurasian region to spread the concept of God. What was India's message? Historically, the historians are basically doctored by some of the scholars, Western scholars, during the later phase of the British rule in India. They had initiated those thoughts, and the thoughts continued to percolate down to the later period scholars, and even now, a large section of the scholars maintain that. However, there is uh, you know, a new stream of thinkers who have come out and who have got a lot of, things to, lot of instruments, lot of facts and fragments of facts to make a reversal proof of that. And that's gradually coming up, emerging, and getting accepted and getting proved in the society. There are people in the world who are known as heroes. Some of those very prominent heroes had captured countries after countries, though in almost all cases, the capturing of the country was not only unethical manner, but also a dangerously unethical manner. Not accepting any standard principle of life, not following any standard principle of fairness of things. But the heroes are there who are worshipped in some part of the world, and those societies think that heroes are very important in the society. India had always nurtured a different kind of heroes. The Vedic civilization has nurtured a different kind of heroes, the heroes who are realized people. They were not really the heroes, they were the principle centric souls of the world, as if gifted by God to the world. The sages. Sages lived up to truth. They understood that truth is something which is having two components. One is truth now, the temporary truth, empirical, and the truth always, time past, time now, and time forward, the eternal. Truth now is dependent upon our understanding of the thing, our senses of, and the organs of understanding, human senses and sensory organs of understanding. And that's why it's confined within the boundaries of time, confined within the boundaries of individual and collective identities, confined within the boundaries of the space or the position or location of the people and incidents concerned. But time eternal is above all these. It is boundless in terms of the time. It is time infinite. It starts from time t0, if at all t0 was there in our, according to our understanding, and it continues up to, or it's expected to continue up to the time infinite, t infinite. So spectrum from t0 to infinite to t infinite is the spectrum of the eternity. Eternity is the ultimate truth. The matter, the incident, the thing of life, the quest of life, the thoughts of life, the priorities of life, the positions of life, the choice of life, the tests of life, the preferences of life, the identifications of good things for life or chosen things for life, the concept of satisfaction for life, the concept of happiness for life. All these are constrained by the parameters of time, space, and identity. The moment those parameters of space, time, space, and identity changes, immediately the concerns, the contents, the identities do undergo changes. And therefore, it emerges as kind of new. So eternity is a journey across the flow of time. In our Indian parlance, it is known as the Mahakal. Mahakal is the other name of Lord Shiva. At the point of origin, when the time was created by Lord Shiva, or the god of gods, the point of origin, if at all T0 can be conceived of, that T0, when he actually initiated the time to flow. Time has to be initiated to flow because time requires input energy to flow. What was the input energy? The input energy was the vibration created by the Lord of Lords. It's known as the cosmic vibration of Lord Shiva. The other name given is the Nataraj. There is a story that this was done at the time of Soti's, you know, uh, demise and having, the part of the body in different places, and that is the time. It is not really so. That is a part of the story, but the vibration, the cosmic vibration of the Lord of Lords had occurred at the origin of time and origin of life. So the vibration gives the input energy for the cosmic system to move forward and take different shapes and forms. The shapes and forms were actually identified as the concurrent and autonomous. For example, the human shape and human form. Human shape and human form has got certain peculiarities. If you look at the skeletal structure of a human system, you find there's a miraculous. The entire skeletal structure is miraculous. The way the connections within the human system is done, biological connections within, is again further miraculous. The way the life is driven and is taken forward is again third miraculous, or even accelerated position of the miraculous thing. Why? Because nothing is preordained. It has to create it and gets created. What is the input energy into this? The origin of the universe had an input of the wish of the Supreme Divine. Saha Ikshataha Tat Brahman. The Supreme had the wish to move forward and to reveal its own universality among the created. So the moment the moving forward was there, the creations came in place. Creations, we know that Darwinian principle that from unicellular to multicellular and gradually monopod, and then the human being with a particular column of that time and 2 feet, 2 arms, kind of that. This is a kind of assumption-based, sequencing of things, but it goes well. This assumption has a strength in it, so it goes well. There is no point in not accepting it, but there is no reason behind accepting this as well, because there is no proof that this has come in sequence. It is an assumption, and the most important assumption that origin of species Darwin made about is, the process of creation, the way of forward of the creation, and the way of mutation and the way of transmutation, and the journey forward in the scales of life or the patterns of life. However, let us accept this as a kind of good assumption and let's proceed with that. The sages had discovered through their own realization of the Brahman that Brahman, the Supreme, is a reality. That's the reality. That's the truth. And the message of that is for everyone. Therefore, the sages had carried it forward to different parts of the globe and did never mention that it is, I'm coming from such and such place, I'm a person from the Himalayas of India, or from a place of eastern part of India, or southern part, or northern part, or central part, or the other region adjacent to that. There is no contextual reference of that. Only reference was that this is the truth I have come to know. I have come to know in the process of the meditative understanding and communication with the divine. And when I have this meditative understanding and communication with the divine established, I understand that this is so universal that anybody from any part of the world can have the same realization. Anybody, sitting at any place in the world can have the same if the person follows the same method and procedure. Now, does it have any kind of discriminatory identity? It does not have. No discriminatory identity. Only Indians can do. No. There's nowhere it's mentioned about India or Bharat. Nowhere it's mentioned. It is always mentioned about the Vishwa. Vishwa is the universe, the entire world. And also, the sages had understood and they had in their vision that not just this world, could be many other worlds also. So, which is not our matter of concern now. What is our matter of concern? This world, this life, this set of lives. So, what they have to do? The set of lives they need to do a kind of understanding, they need to reveal kind of understanding that why this life? What for this life? Is this life for just living the life or with a purpose? Is the life a purposeful one or it's not a purposeful one? If it is a purposeful one, then you identify what is the essential purpose of life. Day-to-day living is the passage of the journey of life over the scales of time. It doesn't have any greatness. Where the greatness stands is your objective of life. What is that is your objective of life. Identifying that objective was the greatness. Indian sages have always talked about that. The Vedic sages have always talked about that. For example, says Kashyapa. Now, there is a Caspian lake, and that's after the name of says Kashyapa. And there are some authors who have written, who have identified some, connections and some similarities, and then they have come to some kind of projective conclusion. That Caspian, for example, the Kashyap, what was his message? The message was that you live every day on the emergence of truth. And the truth that has come to your understanding and realization from yesterday up to yesterday and this part of the day today is not the end in itself. So what you have to do, you have to project yourself to the forward. So you project yourself to the forward and try to understand what is the next scale of truth that I'm going to experience. You don't have to be curious for that, but you be open in your mind to accept that and accept that in the good spirit. So where is the basic parameter here? The basic parameter here is I'm always in favor of the ancient, the eternal, but in a renewed format, in a renewed way, in a renewed nature. So always there is an element of discovery. Atish Divankar was one of the persons. He traveled the entire length and breadth of China with the message of Lord Buddha. Some of the places that there are a set of scholars who came up with a very massive publication comparing the essential thoughts of this Buddhist stream of thoughts which have emerged from India to China and the China's own original Lao Tse and Confucius, placing all these three in the same place and trying to understand what was the strength of the message in what the messengers of the Buddhist spirits could bring in. There was a question when I had to deliver, I was invited to deliver a talk on Buddhist economy in San Francisco 10 years ago, and around 11 and a half years ago. There was a strong question by a group of monks, and they had a question like, what is the difference between, what is the essential difference between the spirit of the Vedas and the spirit of Lord Buddha? It's very simple. It's a very simple question, but very interesting question and very powerful question. The point that rises here is the depth of the narration. Example, when Lord Buddha wanted to have a life free from all the ailments and all the sufferings and all the problems, wanted to make it a, sufferings, make the life above all sufferings and understand the core existence, the core soul within, and through the process of exercising the mind, concentrating the mind, with the devotions earned in the mind, with the concentration in the mind, and then the condition of nirvana comes. The condition of nirvana and the condition of nirvana, both are the conditions which are in the individual and in the collective level. Now, what is the difference with the condition of Brahmogyan or Brahma realization of Brahman? What is the difference between? The difference is there you develop the conditions with your identity maintained throughout. The Brahman can, your identity in terms of transcendental identity, meaning your identity is a formed identity, but the essence of the form you are taking forward and maintaining your identity. But when the Vedic sages came forward, they said, no, you have an identity. You are known as somebody. Your name is there, your clan is there, your parental identity is there, your societal identity is there, your positions of life is there, your achievements, your, for the feeders of your, cap are all there, of your life are all there. But you have to get yourself deluged in the ocean of the spirit of the divine and then be a part of the infinite spirit of the divine. So here you are no longer an individual, you are a part of the infinite ocean of truth, and the infinite ocean of truth is now actually revealing itself, and condition may arise when you have achieved that realization that you can actually become the torchbearer of that spirit of the divine. Divine spirit can flow through you across. It can flow through you across and it can have the spread in the world of thoughts and actions. The thoughts and actions, it has been coined by the Buddhist scholars as it was uttered by Patanjali, says Patanjali long back, and inherited from the Atharva Vedas, says Atharva. And also that was inherited from the Vedic period by sage Angira. And also at the origin it was inherited from Vasishtha and Vedavyas was there in this, and some other sages were there, most senior sages were there, Rotri was there in that. So whatever thing, the connection was, the thoughts are very important. So if you have to create a better civilization, new civilization, where has to be pinned down? What do you want to get pinned down? You have to, if you want to create that better civilization, then you have to pin down to the spirit of truth. And the spirit of truth has to be something which does not end with a full stop. Truth cannot have a full stop for the past. Someone has mentioned that up to this the truth ends. And after this there will be no further discovery of truth. This cannot happen. The scientists are continuously discovering and inventing things across for the betterment of human being in the world. That is possible in the material world. But most of the material discoveries and material inventions have got a content of spirit with it. It's actually not purely material. It's driven by the spirit. I respect all these scientists as people with material spirituality, or sometimes with absolute spirituality. Those who have gone in the realm of normatives, the theories, they have actually walked on the absolute spirituality. and those who have come for the structures of the thing and produce the structures of the thing, giving an output in terms of technology and the applied things, they are spiritually oriented material people. Now, without the content of spirit, the material transition and invention and discoveries are actually impossible. So, spirit has to be guiding force or the guiding force throughout. Either guiding force in the beginning or guiding force throughout. So, with this, what happens is the people in the world they started getting the message of India. Siddharth Mukherjee was an Indian born and a great scientific scholar of and a researcher, a scientist of the cancer, and has done a lot of works on the understanding of the cell, movement of the cell, and then he and his team has done marvelous work. And still continuing with that, I respect the team, the person, and their thoughts. And I'm sure that they are going to come up with something even greater and superior compared to what they've done until today. So what he had made a mention in his the uh, the emperors, the uh, uh, the emperor of maladies about the cancer. It mentioned about the total school, but not. It's a thin mentioning. Total school has been mentioned now by some scholars in Germany and some scholars in now emerging European region. Uh, not to just mention, but just to give a mention, not UK based, but other areas of European region. So what is happening is the spirit is the dominant factor which can make the thing. Our Atharva Veda, the sage Atharva, came up with an understanding, and that was the seeding of our the human science, meaning the science of what you call is medicine, medical, the human science. Nothing was there as medicine, medical. It was the human science. So what is the thing? Samani samaha samayati. The spirit maintains everything, and the spirit, properly guided and maintained, can maintain the matter in accordance. Matter is guided by the spirit. Now, if you come to the mathematicians, physicists, I mentioned about Max Planck sometime back, and given some quotes of Max Planck. I mentioned in my book on the Vedic economy also. Now, wherein Max Planck understands, and it was also an understanding of Albert Einstein with a different language. It was also an understanding by Enrico Fermi in a different manner. And now, for the latest scientist, among the latest scientists, Roger Penrose is still in life. Roger Penrose, the shadows of mind and the other factors you'll find. Stephen Hawking did not accept in the beginning of his life until the mid part of life. But when he came up with the theory of everything and the universality calculated in that, he wanted to calculate what Einstein had left for the next generation to do. So Stephen Hawking has come up with a idea which he could not prove, but he has come up with that. You can refer to this theory for everything. The larger one is almost 900 pages of work. It's a marvelous work by Stephen Hawking, and the summary also is there in a short, thin book. There he has come up with a understanding that the entire cosmic system must be having something common, something which is contributing to all others. This is the message which was there carried by our Indian sages to the entire length and breadth of the world. Everywhere. Even when I have mentioned about Atis Divankars having carried the message of Buddha in Chinese land and in many other places. And this is not very, it's only here, you know, uh, just prior to modern period. And uh, the period immediately after Ashoka, people from Ashoka's ministry and Ashoka's, the kind of team that he had made, he created, including the team from his own clan and own family also. And they got spread out in Asian region mostly. And the message that they wanted to create is the oneness believed and thought in Buddha, which was actually against the principle mentioned by the original thinkers of Buddhist thoughts, that they did not believe in this kind of oneness. But the oneness of mind can be achieved. That is at the level of the realization. So there is a subtle difference. Now this oneness is there in our Brahmata. The thoughts of the Supreme Divine. I'll now give some reference of the thoughts of the Supreme Divine. The sage is mentioning Ekaha Suparnaha Saha Samudrama Videshaha Saha Idam Vishwang Bhuvanang Vichastehe Tan Pakeno Manusaha Apashyam Antita. Those who are conversant with the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna must be having the thing in mind that he had mentioned about a bird called Homapati, mentioning that Videache Homapati. Actually, this is the reference, only reference that Vedas have. It's actually a bird, imaginary bird. What is the bird doing? The bird flies high in the sky. And the bird has got the power to fly in the super sky. And the sky that we have in our perception is a sky within the limit of the earth system. The sky which we do not have in our perception, but now technology can grasp that sky through ballistics. The satellites pierce through that part of the sky, which is a super sky. Some place, some region in this cosmic system where the earth system does not have any connection with, apart from having the connection in the solar and in the pathways of the cosmic order. So there's the sky outside. And what is there in the base of this bird? There's an infinite ocean of water. So below down is the infinite, above is the infinite. What is this bird doing? Bird is seeking the infinite. Bird is now in its own journey to seek the position, they understand the position, the truth of that infinite. The Vedas has presented that your essential living has to have a component of seeking that supreme eternity. And that supreme eternity is infinite. And that infinite does not have any location across. For example, oceans are infinite, we know. But again, each ocean has a shore. You have got shore this side, you have got shore the other side. For example, if you sail through Pacific from Japan, you end up reaching San Francisco or some other nearby port. There are shores. Indian Ocean, if you are coming to Indian Ocean from African region, and then you come to the nearby region of India's proximity, so you find a shore. Every infinite has got some landing place. And this infinite has got also a landing place. And that landing place is also infinite. So when you visualize divine, you visualize the same way as any other person from any other part of the world can have. So Vedic sages were so scientific, they were extremely scientific. I just mentioned one. Saha yaha abhitat paramang brahmo vedaha. Brahmo evaha sa bhavoti. Na asya abrahmo vi pushe bhavoti. Taruti shokam taruti papamanam. Wuhan granthityam vimuktaha amrita bhavat. So this is a universal message. What is that? You, the human person, or any other life for that matter. You devote yourself to the Supreme Divine from any corner of the world. You be with any kind of identity. You are an Indian, you are an African, you are an American, you are a white, you are a black, you are a, you know, middle, in between, you are a large, you are a small, you are child, you are old, you are male, you are female. No distinction, no other identity. It's the universe. Anyone from any part of the world trying to have the realization of the Brahman understands Brahman and acquires the spirit of Brahman. What is that spirit of Brahman? The sages have mentioned. It is, first of all, it is indeterminate, infinite. অনন্ত অসীম তিনি তিনি বিরাজ করছেন তাকে কোথায় পাওয়া যাবে না ঋষিরা বলছেন নতত্র সুরয়বাতি ন চন্দ্র তারক নয় মা বিদ্যুৎ বাতি কুতঃ অয়মগ্নি ত্বমেব ভান্ত মনুভাতি সর্ব তস্য ভাষা সর্ব ইদম বিভাগ ঋষি জানলেন যে ভগবানকে যেখানে দেখতে হয় যেখানে দেখা যায় জানা যায় বোঝা যায় সেই দেখা জানা বোঝা সূর্যের আলো এই দেখে নেবো আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে সকালে উঠুক সকালে ভগবানকে দেখে নেবো এটা হয় না চন্দ্রের আলো দিয়ে দেখে নেবো হয় না তারকার আলো দিয়ে দেখে নেবো হয় না আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে বিদ্যুৎ চমকালে বিদ্যুতের আলোয় দেখে নেবো হয় না আর অন্য মানুষের আলো যে আলো আমরা এই করেছি সেই আলো দিয়ে দেখে নেবো টর্চ দিয়ে ইলেকট্রিসিটি দিয়ে দেখা যায় দেখা কখন যায় ত্বমেব বান্তব অনুভাতি সর্বে ভগবানকে আমাদের প্রে করতে হবে উপাসনা করতে হবে ভগবানের সঙ্গে যুক্ত হতে হবে সেটি হলো যোগ যোগ হলো ভগবানের সঙ্গে যুক্ত হয়ে যাওয়া ভগবানের সঙ্গে যুক্ত হতে পারলে তখন তাকে জানা যায় তাকে জানতে শুরু করা যায় তাকে যখন জানতে শুরু হয় তখন আস্তে আস্তে কেমন হয় ঋষি বললেন হিরণ্ময়ে পরে কোষে বীরজন ব্রহ্ম নিষ্কলম তৎসূত্র জ্যোতিষাং জ্যোতিষি ইয়াত্তৎ আত্মবিদ হবি বিদু যখন তাকে জানা যায় তখন সে আত্মবিদ হয়ে যায় অন্তর মাঝে তিনি অবস্থান করে আছেন জ্যোতির্ময় এক পুরুষ রূপে এক অদৃশ্য কিন্তু দৃশ্যমান এক আলোর অবয়বে তিনি অবস্থান করে আছেন অন্তর মাঝে তাকে খুঁজে নাও তিনি কেমন ভাবে আছেন যেন সুবর্ণ জ্যোতির্ময় হয়ে আছে সুবর্ণ জ্যোতির্ময় তার সেই অবয়ব তিনি আছেন কিন্তু তিনি অবয়বহীন এক অবয়ব নিরাবয়ব অবয়ব আর তাকে কেমন ভাবে আমরা তার সঙ্গে সম্পর্ক করব। ঋষি বলছেন ব্রহ্ম এব ঈদং অমৃতং পুরুষাৎ ব্রহ্ম পুরস্তাৎ ব্রহ্ম পশ্চাৎ ব্রহ্ম দক্ষিণতঃ ব্রহ্ম উত্তরতঃ अधः च एव ऊर्ध्व च प्रसृतं ब्रह्म एव इदं विश्वम् इदं वरिष्ठ বিশ্ব। ঋষিরা কখনো এটা তাদের অনুভবে দেখেননি যে ব্রহ্মকে পেতে হলে শুধু ভারতেই থাকতে হবে, ভারতেই ব্রহ্ম আচার কোথাও নেই। নেভার। ইট ইজ এ ইউনিভার্সাল থট, ইট ইজ এ ইউনিভার্সাল রিয়েলাইজেশন। বিশ্বের যে কোনো প্রান্তে বসে তুমি ব্রহ্ম সাধন করে ব্রহ্ম প্রাপ্ত হতে পারো। তাই তাকে জানলে তিনি সেই অমৃতময় পুরুষ, কিন্তু তিনি অবয়ববিহীন এক অমৃতময় পুরুষ। জ্যোতির্ময় কিন্তু অবয়ববিহীন, আবার অবয়ব আছে। কেমন? যেমন না বায়ুর মতো। তাকে যখন আমরা জানতে চেষ্টা করি তখন কেমন হয় না, ঋষি বললেন দোয়া সুবর্ণা সংযুক্ত সখায়া সমানং বৃক্ষ পরিসজাতি বায়ু অন্য পিপ্রালং সাধু তিহি অন্য বিচাকুষি তিহি অনস্নান। দুটো পাখি আছে, অনুমান করুন, গাছের ডালে বসে। একটা পাখি মিষ্টি মিষ্টি ফল খেয়েছে, আনন্দ পাচ্ছে, উপভোগ করছে, জীবনকে উপভোগ করছে, বেশ খুশিতে আছে, আনন্দে আছে, জীবন উপভোগ করছে। আরেকটি পাখি ওখানে বসে আছে, সে একটা অনন্য নয়নে তাকিয়ে আছে, সেই ব্রহ্ম দৃষ্টি অন্তর মাঝে সেই তার দৃষ্টি নিবদ্ধ করেছে এক মহাজ্যোতির্ময়ের কাছে। সে সেই মহাজ্যোতির্ময়ের দিকে অবলোকন করে আছে, মহাজ্যোতির্ময়কে সে অনুধাবন করছে। यदा पश्यति रुक्मवर्णं कर्तारम् ईशं पुरुषं ब्रह्मयाति तदा विज्ञानपूर्णपापे विधो निरञ्जनं परमं साम्यं कुरुते। যখন ব্রহ্মদৃষ্টি প্রাপ্ত হয় তখন কেমন হয়? ঋষি বললেন পরমং সাম্যম উপৈতি। সাম্য, সমান সমান। সাম্যের বার্তা, সাম্যের বাণী অনেকেই অনেক কিছু প্রচার করে চলে, কোথাও কিছু নেই জগৎ মাঝে। There is no philosophy as yet which actually wants the equality of everyone in equal terms, except the Vedas. Veda Vedirekti world, there is no other philosophy which has got this fine-tuned expectation and the objective to establish in the world. The Vedic sages have always worked for this equality. They believe that it is equality. Why equality? But every person is an embodied person of the divine. Is residing within the every person. Supreme residing within every person. ভগবান সনাতন সবার অন্তরে অবস্থান করে আছেন, তিনিই অবস্থান করে আছেন। তাহলে where is the difference? হ্যাঁ, তিনি কেমন ভাবে আছেন? না, ক্ষুদ্র আত্মা রূপে তিনি আছেন, তিনি অতি ক্ষুদ্র রূপে আছেন। এসে বলছেন তুমি এই যে বিশ্ব মাঝে হয়েছে, তোমার দিব্য প্রকাশ এখন হবে। এই বিশ্ব মাঝে দিব্য প্রকাশ হবে। এই মহাবিশ্বে যতই খুঁজে ফেরে চেতন প্রভা বিশ্বনাথকে, চেতন স্পন্দন এসে যায় অন্তর মাঝে অনন্ত মহাকাশের ওই সীমায়। হয়েছিল চেতন পাখির নিত্য প্রবাহ, অন্তর প্রেরণায় হয়ে দিব্য আকাঙ্ক্ষী। মহাসমুদ্রের উপর অনন্ত আকাশে হয়েছে দিব্য পাখির অসীম বিন্যাস। অনন্ত মহাকাশের এই নিত্য বিকাশ প্রবাহ পথে এসেছে স্পন্দন। ভগবত বার্তা দিয়েছে নিত্য ভাব প্রবাহ তোমারই অনুভবের আকর্ষণে। বিশ্বনাথের বিশ্বব্যাপ্তি এখন মহাসমুদ্রের ঢেউয়ে বিস্তারে, আনন্দপূর্ণ ব্রহ্ম উপলব্ধির পরশে। অনন্ত আকাশ আর অনন্ত করে ধারণ, জগন্মাতা করেছেন বরণ বিশ্বনাথ প্রিয়কে। তিনি ভগবানকে ধরে আছেন, জগন্মাতা তাকে ধরে আছেন। The person who has actually gone in favor of realizing the Supreme Brahman in the life of the person, the Supreme Mother, the Cosmic Mother, the Universal Mother. She doesn't have any specific form, yet you can think of her in any form of your choice. And she takes care of the person, she takes care of the world, she takes care of the civilization. Where is the problems? Where are the problems? What is the source of the problem? Isn't it we all are the sources of the problem? This point was very nicely elaborated by Swami Vivekananda in his series of talks on the doctrine of karma in different parts of America, which is available in his complete works. You'll find that is mentioned that it's a habit of many people to blame the world and blame others for any kind of wrong thing happened to him or her. But if you explore properly without any kind of bias about it, you'll always find the causative factor somewhere lies within your thoughts or actions or both. We have to actually identify where lies the Spirit of God. Anything that's apart from God is a division from God. Nothing can be apart from God in the ultimate sense of the term. But unless you have a realization of that, to you it is difficult. The moment you have a realization that everything is the same Supreme Brahman is residing everywhere, then only everything becomes your own. Until that realization is earned and achieved, it's all different. It's all discriminated. It's all differentiated. There is a matter, there is a consciousness which are different. Because the realization of Supreme is yet to be earned, it's not yet earned. The moment the realization of Supreme is earned, then you will find that matter is also a kind of revealed consciousness in a particular format. So everything is divine. Everything, all elemental things, all large things, all structures, formations, and lights are thus from the divine. The sage is mentioning Suparna vipraha kabayo avajovi ekang santan bahuda kalpayanti sandangsi cha dadhuto advareshu rohan samasya mimate dvadasya. এই অনন্ত বিশ্ব প্রকাশ মাঝে বিশ্ব প্রকৃতির অনন্ত বেশ আর প্রকাশ হয়েছে মূর্ত। এখন এই ব্রহ্মার্পিত চেতনের সুদূর গভীর বিকাশ ধারায় এসেছে। আনন্দের মূর্ছনা চলেছে অন্তর মাঝে, এ তোমার অনন্ত রূপ প্রকাশে সংযম। এখন দাও তোমারই অনন্ত স্পন্দন, করে একান্ত নিবেদন জীবন চলার পথের মাঝে স্পর্শ। যেমনে হয়েছে অনন্ত আকাশ পরিক্রমা চেতনায় বিশ্ব দৃষ্টি, হয়েছে তেমনি উন্মোচন। প্রাণের মাঝে মনের আকাশ, হৃদয়ের তন্ত্রীতে তোমার আহ্বান সদাই। অনুভবের পথে যে বিকাশ ছিল জীবন মাঝে, এখন তোমার বহু প্রকাশের মাঝে বুঝে ফিরি সেই বিকাশ। এখন চেতনার প্রতি দিয়েছে আলোক বিকাশী, তোমারই ওই একান্ত এক অনন্ত প্রকাশ মাঝে অবস্থা। একান্ত the, the one, the one elemental one, the supreme one, the oneness is there with everyone. But you have to have the realization of that. Unless you have a realization of that, it remains as a word and statement. A word and statement won't do. One has to earn this realization. That is why the concept of worship of God, meditation of God, the yoga of God, connection with God arises. এখানেই যোগ। যোগ কেন? যোগ কার সঙ্গে? ভগবানের সঙ্গে যোগ। ভগবানের সঙ্গে কিসের যোগ? মানবের চেতনার যোগ। মানবের চেতনার যোগ ভগবত চৈতন্যের সঙ্গে, ব্রহ্ম চৈতন্যের সঙ্গে মানব চেতনের যোগ। এই যোগসূত্র তখন প্রকাশিত হবে। কেমন করে প্রকাশিত হবে? ঋষি বললেন, তুমি সত্যকে ধারণ করার চেষ্টা করো, অনুভব করো, চেষ্টা করো, আর অন্তরে জীবন মাঝে ধারণ করো। কারণ এই সত্য থেকেই তুমি ভগবানকে পাবে, কারণ তিনিই হলেন মহাসত্য। এই মহাসত্যের কাছে পৌঁছতে হলে তোমাকে নিজে সত্যের মধ্যে জারিত হতে হবে। বললেন, সত্যামেব জয়তে না অনৃত, সত্যেন সত্যেন পন্থা বিততে দেবয়ান। যেন আপ্তকাম ঋষয় আক্রমন্তি তৎ ইয়ৎ সত্যস্য পরমং নিধানম। ঋষিগণ সত্যকে অনুধাবন করবার জন্য জীবন সমর্পণ করেছিল, তারা জীবন যাপন করেছে। জীবনের সকল কর্মের মধ্যে তারা উপস্থিত, জগতের সকল কর্মের মধ্যে তারা উপস্থিত। জগতের সমাজ তারা গড়ে দিয়েছে। ঋষিগণ সকলেই একে একে সমাজ গড়ে দিয়েছে, সভ্যতা গড়ে দিয়েছে। তার মধ্যে যে প্রিন্সিপাল সেন্ট্রিক অ্যাপ্রোচ সেটা দিয়েছে। তার মধ্যে সত্য চেতনাকে তারা গঠিত করেছে সার্বিকভাবে। সমস্ত কর্মের মধ্যে তারা ছিল, কিন্তু তারা কোনো সেলফিশ ডিজায়ারের মধ্যে ছিলেন, বাসনার বন্ধনে বন্দী ছিলেন, কামনার দ্বারা আক্রান্ত ছিলেন না। ষড়রিপু বলতে যা বোঝায় তাদের, তারা কন্ট্রোল ছিলেন। মনের সীমার মধ্যে মনের দাস হয়েছিলেন, মুক্ত মনের ছিলেন। মুক্ত মন কোনটি? যে মন ভগবানের পথে এগিয়ে যেতে পারে সেই হলো মুক্ত মন। বদ্ধ মন কোনটি? যে ক্ষণকালের দিকে যার দৃষ্টি সে হলো বদ্ধ মন। টাইম নাও, ফর মি, my satisfaction, my concern, me, not thou, but me. বিবেকানন্দ পাল্টে দিলেন, বললেন, not me, but thou. ঘুরিয়ে দাও, এখন যা আছে সেটাকে ঘুরিয়ে দাও, উল্টে দাও। এখন সারা সমগ্র সিভিলাইজেশনটা দাঁড়িয়ে আছে এর উপর আমি ইজ ইম্পর্টেন্ট, আই এম এট দ্য সেন্টার, আই এম এট দ্য সেন্ট্রাল পজিশন। ঋষি বললেন, তুমি খুবই ইম্পর্টেন্ট, তুমি বিশেষ, তুমি ভগবানের খুব আদরণীয়, তুমি ভগবানের প্রিয়জন, তুমি ভগবানের পথে এগিয়ে চল। তার মানে এই নয় তুমি জগৎ কর্ম পরিত্যাগ করো, তুমি ভগবানের পথে এগিয়ে চল। বললেন, তুমি জীবনের মধ্যে কর্ম সন্ন্যাসী হয়ে যাও, শ্রেষ্ঠ ভক্ত হয়ে যাও। সেটি না যে কর্ম সন্ন্যাস, সেটি কি? যে সর্বদা কর্মের মধ্যে, কর্মের যে যে কর্ম তার জগৎ কর্ম, not for selfish fulfillment, but for the world, in the assigned role. যিনি যে কর্তব্যে আছেন সেই কর্তব্যের মধ্যে থাকে, তারপর সে ভগবানকে ভাববে, অন্তরে ভগবানকে বরণ করবে, অন্তর মাঝে ভগবানকে ডিসকভার করবে, সে অন্তর মাঝে ভগবানকে আবিষ্কার করবে, সে অনুতে পরমাণুতে ভগবানের প্রভাবকে আবিষ্কার করবে। ক্রমে ক্রমে তার মধ্যে ভক্তির সঞ্চার হবে। অনিরুদ্ধ প্রশ্ন করেছিলেন বুদ্ধকে, তখন ওনার একেবারে শেষ দিকের প্রশ্ন হয়নি। প্রশ্ন করেছিলেন, তাহলে সময়ের দ্বারা সীমিত না হয়ে এটা কেমন করে সময়ের বাইরে যাবে? বুদ্ধ, যেটি আমাদের বৈদিক থট, ঋষিদের থট, সেটি তখন বললেন, যা কিছু সময়ের অতীত, সময়ের অতীতকে খুঁজে নিয়ে তাকে মনোনিবেশ করে। He had that realization with it. He was a true sage in the true sense of the term. সময়ের অতীত যেটি আলো গ্রাসিত নয়, আলের দ্বারা আচ্ছাদিত নয়, আলের দ্বারা বন্দী নয়, জীবনের কালো স্পর্শে যে জীবনের যে গতি আছে সেই নয়। এই দুটি পাখির মধ্যে একজন খুব সাধু ফল খেয়ে চলেছে, কত খাচ্ছে, একটা সময় এসে তার সাধু ফল খাওয়া বন্ধ করে দেয়, হয়তোবা অতি ভোজন জাত যা হয় তাই হতে পারে। আর যে মন দৃষ্টিতে এক দৃষ্টিতে তাকিয়ে আছে, দেখছে, খুঁজে ফিরছে অন্তর মাঝে তার সেই জ্যোতির্ময় জ্যোতির্লোককে, সে সমস্ত কালের সীমাকে ট্রান্সেন্ড করে চলে যাচ্ছে, অতিক্রম করে চলে যাচ্ছে। The person who has accepted the supreme divine as the goal and objective, final objective of the progression of life within, the person who can discover the presence of the divine in the form of Atman within, the person who has got an urge to have an understanding or a realization of the supreme divine seated within, the person who has got the conditions of mind not affected or endorsed and controlled by the senses in a biological term, desires and all other elements not having conquered the mind of the person, that person is now free to have the realization of the Supreme. ব্রহ্ম সনাতনের উপলব্ধি তিনি পেয়ে যাবেন, তিনি মনের মাঝে আর যা কিছু আছে সকল সংবেদকে অতিক্রম করে ভগবানকে বরণ করতে পারবেন মনের মাঝে। তিনি ট্রুলি ইউনিভার্সাল, তিনি ট্রুলি ইউনিভার্সাল। ইমানুয়েল কান্ট লিখলেন, universality, Kariskai, Cosmos. Universality principle কি? তিনটা প্রিন্সিপলকে হাইলাইট করবার জন্য চেষ্টা করি। The first principle was understanding. The second principle was accepting. The third principle was driving forward. Hi, in a different way, you can connect this with unity, fraternity, and freedom. বেদের ঋষিগণ বলছেন সর্বদাই unity, fraternity, and freedom. আর বলছেন সাম্যম, এই ব্রহ্ম উপলব্ধি হলে তোমার মধ্যে সাম্যের বোধটা তখন হবে, তার আগে কোনো জড় উপাদান থেকে ব্রহ্ম উপলব্ধি তুমি পাবে না। আর জড় উপাদানের ভিত্তি করে জড় মন দিয়ে কখনো তুমি সাম্যের বোধ পাবে। সাম্যের বোধ হলো the presence of God within every individual in the realized sense of the term. Until it is there in the language, it has no meaning. The moment you have a realization of that, it's got a great meaning. That is a difference. It's a subtle difference. ভগবানের পথে আমাদের এগিয়ে যেতে হবে, জীবনে ভগবানকে বরণ করে নিতে হবে। জীবনে ভগবানকে বরণ করবার কোনো দেশকাল পাত্রের উপাধি নেই। যে কোনো মানুষ যে কোনো ক্ষেত্রে যে কোনো স্থান থেকে এটি করতে পারে। ঋষিগণ তাই বিশ্ব দৃষ্টিতে সবকিছু দেখলেন, বিশ্ব দৃষ্টিতে ঋষিগণ দেখেছে। এই কসমিক সিস্টেমকে ঋষিগণ একত্রে দেখেছে, এক রূপে দেখেছে, নন ডিসক্রিমিনেটিভ, নন ডিফারেন্সিয়েটেড, the universality in the entire existence. তিনি ব্রহ্মপথে এগিয়ে চলবেন, তার উদার দৃষ্টি বিভিন্ন অসুস্থ। আমরা এখন বেদমন্ত্র পাঠ করবো, সবাই পার্টিসিপেট করবো। ওম বাগ্মে মনসি প্রতিষ্ঠিতা, অনহো মে বাচি প্রতিষ্ঠিতা।
ওম বাগ্মে মনসি প্রতিষ্ঠিতা, অনবে বাচি প্রতিষ্ঠিতাম।
আবিহি আবিহি মেধি, বেদস্যামানিষ্টঃ শ্রুতং মে মা প্রহসিহা।
বেদস্যামানিষ্টঃ শ্রুতং মে মা প্রহসিহা।
অনেনোদিতেন অহোরাত্রান সংদদামি।
অনেনোদিতেন অহোরাত্রান সংদদামি।
গীতাং বদিষ্যামি সত্যাং বদিষ্যামি।
গীতাং বদিষ্যামি সত্যং বদিষ্যামি।
তদ্মামবতু তদ্ভক্তানামবতু।
তদ্মামবতু তদ্ভক্তানামবতু।
আবতু মাম আবতু ভক্তারাম।
আবতু মাম আবতু ভক্তারাম আবতু ভক্তানাম।
শান্তি শান্তি শান্তি।
ওম শান্তি শান্তি শান্তি।
ওম आप्यायन्तु मम अङ्गानि वाक्प्राणचक्षु
ॐ
ॐ आप्यायन्तु मम अङ्गानि प्राणचक्षुः
बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि
श्रुतमतः बलम् इन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि
सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदाम्
सर्वं ब्रह्म उपनिषदम्
अहं ब्रह्म निरतिर्यत्मा ब्रह्म निरकारो
माहं ब्रह्म निरकुर्यात् माम ब्रह्म निरकरोत्
निराकरणमस्तु निराकरणमेऽस्तु
निरकरमस्तु निरकरं मे अस्तु
महे मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु
धर्मते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु
शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णमुदच्यते
पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते
पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते
ओम शांति शांति शांति
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
ओम सहनावतु सहनौ भुनाक्तु
ॐ सहना अवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु
वीर्यं करवावहै
वीर्यं करवावहै
अधितमस्तु महाविद्वेषावहै
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै
शांति शांति शांति
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
शांगमित्रः शांगुरुनः शांगो भवति हरि ओम
शाम्नमित्रः शाम्बरुणः शाम्नभवति
इंद्रः बृहस्पतिः शांनो विष्णु रुक्रमः
शाम्नेन्द्रः बृहस्पतिः शाम्नविष्णु ऊर्ध्वक्रमः
नमो ब्रह्मणे नमः देवाय
नमो ब्रह्मणे नमः देवाय
साक्षां ब्रह्मसि
त्वमेव सत्यं ब्रह्मयसि
प्रत्यक्षां ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि
त्वमेव सत्यं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि
गीतां वदिष्यामि सत्यां वदिष्यामि
रीतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि
मामवतु तद्वक्तारामवतु
माम् अवतु तद्वक्तारम् अवतु
Bhaktaram.
avatu
Om
mam avatu bhaktaram.
Shanti Shanti.
Om
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Adrangani Bhishtanam Deva.
Om Bhadrangani
Bhadrang Bhusema Kshaviyayotra.
Bhadram Pashima Akshaviyayotra.
Yangavi Tusvang Shatanu.
Tanubi
Devahitam Yatayu. Shanti
Shanti,
Shanti.
Shanti, Shanti.
Om
Om
Shanti
Shanti,
Shanti.
আমরা এখন 2 মিনিট ধ্যান করবো। নাও 2 minutes মেডিটেশন। 2 মিনিট ধ্যান। এখন আমরা 2 মিনিট ধ্যান। জয় মা, জয় মা। আমরা আজ এখানে শেষ করছি। সবাই ভালো থাকুন। আবার আমরা আগামী রবিবার ইন্ডিয়ান স্ট্যান্ডার্ড টাইম 5:30 সবাই ভালো থাকুন। অল দ্য বেস্ট। সবাইকে নমস্কার। ভালো থাকুন সবাই।
স্যার প্রণাম।
অল দ্য বেস্ট।
আগে আগে সব আগে